Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Happy to have everyone here. Happy Friday. It's good to see everyone in the chat. Love the energy. Happy May. Amiguru-MAY for many. Let me make sure. For some reason, I am able to hear me twice. Oh, here we go. Okay, perfect. So, how is everyone? Good to see you. It's been 2 weeks. I hope everyone's had some successful projects, enjoying Ribblr as a whole. Always new things to be found on Ribblr. Last time we went over the new membership tier, which is super exciting. It's awesome to see how many people decided to give it a whirl. For those of you who are in one of the tiers for Ribblr Plus, how are you feeling about it? How are you liking all the perks? And it looks like we have quite a few first time chatters today. So welcome on in for all of those if this is your first time. Riley Crochets, good to see you. Fluffy Yarn, Crochet Girl, Sonera making Meowgic, Arts and Naps is back, Pearl Crochets, Squares and Cuddles, Kimiko, it's Fei, good to see everybody. If I ever miss any of your chats, I apologize, but really excited to have everyone here. Definitely should have got the browse did before it. That's my bad. Sporky Girl, Crochet Crazy, Molly Molly. Wow, so many new people. Ugly Bogly, I mean, new and returning. MA8 Light. Yeah, so welcome. It's Amiguru-MAY over here on Ribblr. You may have seen that yesterday there was a pop-up for our first big amigurumi shop sale, so really exciting to see that. Yeah, how is everyone doing? Let's talk about all of you first, and then we'll go over our agenda, talk a little bit more about what's going on Ribblr this month, and what's happening today. So I'm over here enjoying Amiguru-MAY. You can see my dolls in the background. I currently even have a project at my desk. So yeah, and if there's any bit of issues with the sound, it does start off muted, so you just have to manually click that. Super easy in the corner. Yeah, so what's everyone working on and where is everyone from? I am tuning in, or I guess hosting today from Portland, Oregon. So if you're on the West Coast, definitely W's in the chat for that. But if you're not in the Great Pacific Northwest, would love to hear where you're tuning in from. If it's early, if it's late, midday for you. Midday over here, 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Making Meowgic says, excited to see everyone's creations this month. I as well on the Ribblr team. We love seeing the new patterns that come to the platform as well as those journals. Make sure you are using the journal function when you're creating or following patterns if you're following rather than creating freehand. Mental D can't see anything. I'm not sure if anyone else is having that issue. If you are, please let us know and we'll take care of it on the back end. Sporky Girl is making a bucket hat right now. I may have a market next weekend, waiting to hear back. 1 week before a market. That's tight timing. Crochet Girls from the UK. A Summer Tank, nice. From Rurat. Pearl Crochets is from Indiana. You're working on Leggy Froggies for a market. The Leggy Froggies are definitely a popular one to be found on Ribblr. A lot of people have gotten that in their wish list and in their library, so very cool to see you working on those. Very, very popular. We just had those that make in the wish list this week. We got a New Zealander, very cool. Fei, very nice. Tuning in from the East Coast. Nice. Glad you are hopefully not putting off your work day to be here, but happy to have you here. Washington State. Oh, it's in Portland tomorrow. Very nice. We got someone else from Hillsboro making Meowgic. Wow, y'all are so close. Florida, South Sweden, New York, California. Nice, nice. Making a succulent pillow. I could just continue going over all this stuff. It's awesome to see everyone chatting. If I don't say where you're from or anything or acknowledge your chat, I definitely see it all. I definitely see it all. So please do not take offense. And it is Star Wars Day this weekend, or tomorrow actually. So May 4th, may the 4th be with you. Very cool to see Mini Shell working on stuff for that. Got to do a meetup for sure. For now, these are considered our bi-weekly meetups. Always happy to, I gotta get close to my mic. Always happy to hear your feedback on the show, the frequency of it all and everything. And it's always just really nice to talk to all of you fellow crafters as we, as people are trickling into the chat. So really happy to have you here today. Welcome on in. Girly Cyber Chic, very cool. We got another person from the UK. I might be touching foot there pretty soon over on the other side of the pond. Hello from the UK. Well, good to see everybody. As people are trickling in, we'll go over our agenda for today. Some of the things we're going to be doing today, talking about Amiguru-MAY. We have an awesome amigurumi artist coming in today. You may have seen on our socials, but well, I guess in the description too. Naomi from Crouton's Crochets. If you haven't seen her before, I'd be shocked. She's got amazing work, very creative, very outside of the box. Some other amazing product as well. So excited to speak to her. Some sweet things going on for Amiguru-MAY, such as freebies and shop sales as well. Some holidays coming up too. And showing off some other artists, such as our Ribblr of the Week too, and going over our awards for this month. It's been a really wonderful month of amazing creativity, so you'll be able to see who those nominees are and make sure you are voting for them to make a difference. So excited to go over all those things today. We do have next Monday a new roundup post on the community section for Mother's Day over here in the US. So nothing says I love you more than a handmade gift. I know it can be kind of brutal during the holidays when everyone and their dog are asking for a gift made from your precious hands. However, these one-off holidays for our guardians, even if it's you don't have or a mother isn't present in your life, guardians can still play that role. So no matter who they are, if they've acted in that way for you in your life, they definitely still deserve a gift. So make sure that you are gifting those loved ones in your life this holiday or this Mother's Day in the US. Doesn't hurt if you're anywhere else in the world too, and you'll be able to find that post on Monday. So super exciting about that. For Amiguru-MAY, you'll see lots of amigurumi stuff on our socials. Every week we'll be having some flash shop sales, so if you're yearning to make some amigurumi, you'll definitely get those cheap deals from those shops being featured. So make sure to come by Ribblr every single day and you'll see those pop-ups. And yeah, so super cool. We'll go over who actually went live, the shop sale today, which was Loretta Loops. We'll show off some of theirs, or not today, it was yesterday, but it's still going on for 48 hours. So I guess we're that 24-hour mark now. So make sure you are checking out Loretta's Loops. We'll go over her work later. You'll be able to find some freebies. Actually, our guest today is offering a sweet freebie. So make sure you are checking out their shop afterward. We'll have that linked. And yeah, all really good stuff. How many amigurumi artists do we have in the chat? I'm biased. As you can see, my work is in the back there. My shop is full of them. Hate to do the self-promo, but amigurumi is definitely something that calls to me. As you can see, I'm working in that magic ring, and I even have another project right here in the magic ring. I'm not typically and you'll have to see what it is. It's actually a really cool project. I'm not typically someone who has multiple projects going on at once, but this time is a little bit different. So we'd love to hear how everyone kind of handles that. And I want to make sure I see everyone's chats. Hello from California. Hello, Ellen. Squares and Cuddles. Pearl Crochets. Megarine Jenny. Good to see you. Hello from Germany. Coffee Chicken, hello. Pearl Crochets is making a frog for her dad, or for their dad. Nice. Um, Zofia is making a white snake. Very cool. Hey, we got Woolly Amigurumis here. Kind of a celebrity in the amigurumi scene. Very cool to see you. Hello, hello. Woolly is also someone you want to keep an eye on. Hopefully we'll see that amazing creator here soon. Riley says, I'm not published yet, but waves pause. Well, congratulations on almost the early publishment. Hello, Viper. Good to see you. Ellen. And we do have someone here wishing that there wasn't a limit on those free patterns. If you do sign up for Ribblr Plus, that is completely waived. So that is one of the perks to the membership. If you want to do that, you can download as many free patterns on the platform as you wish. If 5 a day isn't enough for you, there's definitely a solution there. Mini Shell says they have like 23 amigurumi work in progresses. Holy. Does anyone have a record to beat for that in the chat? Does anyone have more than 23 work whips in progress at the moment? Not bad, Crochet. Are you okay? Didn't you have food poisoning? Unfortunately, that happens more than I would like to say. However, food poisoning is on the spectrum. It can always, it can be not as bad. Sometimes it's completely terrible and makes you just, contemplate life. But other times, if you are like me and you carry around your little lactate pills, making sure you're avoiding dairy and cheese and all those things, you can sometimes avoid it. So pro tip from your host today. It's good to see everybody. Okay, Rayleigh had 26 but finished 7, so currently not beating those 23. But amazing number. I almost am under the impression, I have to believe, that when you say you have that many work in progresses, you're only like this far into it. All right, some of y'all need to take the time today while I talk with all of you to finish off those projects. I think if you're going to come out with anything from me today, that's my tip. Finish those projects. And when you do finish, make sure you are using those journals and showing those off on Ribblr. I end up finishing every project before starting another. I'm in the same boat. So we are going to jump right in to sharing our first artist today. We are going to, if you are active in the community section, you'll see that every week we have our Ribblr of the Week features. This week, our Ribblr of the Week is Sif's Studio, an amazing amigurumi artist, very sweet, very amazing photography. I think that's something that we need to focus on a lot more when talking about people, is how great their photography is. It's stellar, so love to see it. And a lot of interesting facts coming from Sif's studio. One of the things being that while they're an amazing amigurumi artist, they're also getting their masters in computer science, which is really, really cool. Her frog is cute. She currently has a giveaway going on Instagram right now, so make sure you are checking her out. And she just put up a new frog pattern up on Ribblr, which you can find. I think it's currently on sale for a little bit longer, so make sure you're finding that. Really cool artist over in Denmark. And one of her fun facts was that she never left the home for 6 months, not even for a single walk. So pretty impressive. Honestly, the kind of life I strive to have. That sounds amazing, but sometimes I gotta get out of the house. Those groceries gotta get bought somehow. Amazing work. If you want to, highly encourage, if you see her or anyone on the community section with the Ribblr of the Week post, make sure you are commenting, showing your love towards them. Everyone appreciates it, of course. It's always really fun to find new people to feature. So if you or someone that you really respect in the scene want to be featured for Ribblr of the Week, definitely make sure you are reaching out to Ribblr. You can reach out to, if you already have me as a contact, you can reach out to me and we can get you booked and have you shared with the community. It's a really cool opportunity, and you get your social posts and everything. So really cool. And we will continue to show them off during our Ribblr shows every other week. So make sure you are sending off your favorite designers or crafters even. A lot of people who craft are still very involved on Ribblr, so make sure you are doing that. I love all the the kind comments in the chat. Pearl Crochet says her patterns are amazing. Love to hear it. Arts and Naps loves her photos. I agree. Fluffy Yarn, the cow, is super cute. And this isn't even all of it, so make sure you are heading to that community post and then checking out her shop and following her on socials. Ribblr is a really great place to diversify your feed and find new things to work on, or find new artists to follow. Yeah. Oh my God, the frog. Yeah, I know, right? It's cute. And we do appreciate everyone not last Friday, but the Friday before on the show, who shared some of their favorite designers and stuff. So make sure you're checking them out. All right. So speaking of designers, we are going to be hopping right on into Ribblr's monthly awards. Actually, before I go into the monthly awards, Rurat actually brings up a good point, saying her stuff's all on sale right now too. So you can definitely make sure to check that out. If Ribblr, if you're in the chat, if you want to link their shop, actually I can do that myself. Yeah, if you want to link their shop in the chat, that would be fantastic. That way y'all can go support and grab some of her patterns. Garden Hoe Crochet. We also like Garden Hoe Crochet. Very cute stuff with all the snails. Okay, so as we know, we'll jump into the next topic. As we all know, Ribblr does have their monthly awards, and today is the announcement for all the nominees. So we're going to be going over all of them. Love all the energy in the chat. So if you want to keep saying all your what you love so far, let me know. So right here, let me just clear this out. So we have our pattern of the month. So we have our 3 nominees this month. Very great stuff, even from some new artists. So we have these amazing bags right here. If you're a big granny square creator, definitely check this pattern out. Pretty fascinating tip, or not tip, but fascinating point of interest is myself. I've actually never made a granny square before. I've been crocheting for 8 years, still have not done it to this day. Maybe one day, but at this point, I think just to be able to say I haven't, I just might not. But if you feel like that is outrageous and that I should be making a change in my life and making those, definitely let me know in the chat. We have this adorable kitten pattern. I actually love the yarn on this. I know sometimes people have issues with the kind of, I don't even know what you would call this texture of yarn, but it can be kind of hard to see the stitches. Pro tip, once you kind of do a few rounds, it really is a feeling game. So if you want to use that kind of fluffy yarn, it's actually not as hard as it looks. So the bag is made by Ellie Stoughton, and this cat pattern is made by Stitched Creations. So really lovely photography. They definitely hit that golden hour perfectly. And then from one of our new designers, we have this amazing wrap top that you can wear from Cosmic Crochet. It's gorgeous, really. It's perfect for the springtime. As you can see, a lot of flow to it, but you're still covering your body from the sun. I do imagine if you had like a really sunny day that you would like, if you didn't have tattoos, of course, if you like sat in the sun still, you would come out with like a sunburn or a tan with like all checkered, which would be hilarious. But it looks gorgeous on her and definitely a sweet pattern. So make sure to go check those out and vote for your favorites. Thank you for the kind comments to all the designers here. If they're watching, I hope they all appreciate it. They're so easy. A triple dog dare crochet you to make a granny square. All right, I'm getting dared. The Joe Cool hasn't either. Crochet Crazy has already decided that they're going to make the top. Great use of your time. I totally support that full-heartedly. J Bear also wants to make the cardigan. Waiting to finish up my current whip. Good on ya for finishing your projects. Hello, Abigation. Good to see you. How are you? Not in the Pacific Northwest, although at least probably not until July. You never know. We have those weird streaks of sunshine. You know how it is when it's 70 degrees here, or like 68. People are out t-shirt, shorts, flip-flops. So these are the patterns of the month nominees. So make sure you're checking those out in the voting section on the community section. We want Naomi patience. 5 more minutes, or 10 more minutes. All right, and then we have our shops of the month. Amazing shops. Love the selection here. We have this amigurumi shop from, and this is all for the past month, so all of April. So we have Knott's Merry Yarn with their very cute crochet amigurumi here. I myself am a huge fan of the cactus. Very cute. Hello, Rems. And then we have our other designers. AGA has all their amazing tops. They're very creative. I love this bottom one here you see with like the bow top as well. They've also come on the platform very recently, so very gorgeous. You'll see her on TikTok and Reels showing off their work. And fun note about them is that they like to actually show the unraveling of their projects. A way that they create is they make the whole project to get the pattern down, and then to record it, they take it all apart and redo it. So if you want to see, if you consider that to be ASMR, definitely check out their TikTok. And then we have Sherilyn Q, last but not least, for the shop of the month. Always putting out great designs. Love the cat ear beanies. And also fun fact is she does stream pretty regularly. So if you're looking for crochet artists that are also gamers, she's the one for you. So check her out as well. Amazing YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube patterns are super fun to follow. And she's got a great aesthetic. So it's going to be definitely a tough choice on who you want to vote for. On behalf of Ribblr, we do apologize for making you make these difficult decisions, but we do appreciate the dedication and trying to pick your favorites. However, just because other artists don't win doesn't mean that they're any less than, and definitely give them the time. All right, and finally we have our final category, the make of the month. So, you know, as much as we love all of our designers and sellers on the platform, the lifeblood of the platform really does come from all you crafters. So for those of you who are buying, downloading, following patterns, we really appreciate you, and we definitely want to give you recognition as well. So for those of you who are making your makes, definitely make sure you are publishing those to your journals. This is how we find all of you, and you could get a chance, or journals, and also offering them to being sold, because you can sell physical product on Ribblr as well. Make sure that you are doing that so we can feature you and you get a chance to be featured. So our first one is Bearwood Chart. Follow this amazing pattern. Love the color scheme here. K Panda Crochet has this adorable bear. I don't think the original bear pattern had the bow, so this is a really cool way to put your own twist on it. And then Chronicles of Yarnia, we have this amazing bag. That's so pretty. In a world where we're all trying to strive for more green and having those reusable market bags, this is a gorgeous way of going to the store and using one. And you just know that you're going to be, have to engage in conversation. Great icebreaker. So definitely make sure you're checking all these out. And that concludes the 3 categories for all of our awards this month. Make sure you're checking those out on the Ribblr community section. We absolutely love the feedback. We love seeing what everyone's favorites are, and also just making these creators feel pretty good about all their hard work. Crochet Crazy asks, where do you go to pick? You can go to the community section, and we can link that in the chat as well. You can see that right there. Ribblr has commented. Yes, the crafters did do a great job as well. All right, bye, Faye. Good to see you. Thank you, everyone, for all the kind words. Love seeing the kindness in the community. Um, I'm in the gaming community quite a bit, and it's not often so positive. So this is a very refreshing take. So thank you, everyone, for your kind words. All right, so in 5 minutes, we do have the moment of truth where we will have Naomi coming in to the chat from Crouton's Crochet. And this is our artist for the day for our interview, Crouton's Crochet, an amazing pattern designer. As you can see, the patterns that they create are definitely more on the wacky side. And I say that completely endearingly. Just because, as you can see, it's just so unique seeing all... Oh, sorry about that. That was from our guest from last week. Let's see here. Oh. Okay, something happened here. Our artist from last week, the Dream Crochet, is making an appearance here. Something's happening here. One moment, please. What the heck? I don't know how that happened, but we definitely are, I don't know what happened there. That's my bad, everybody. Okay, we are going to, I need to edit a few things, of course. That is totally my bad. However, we're going to jump right into the host and guest here. For some reason, we're missing our image here. So if you don't mind me, I am having a technical difficulty, which I was doing just fine, of course. Hold on, making sure I don't start sweating. It's okay. So, ooh. Okay, well, that was something. And it was all because I clicked something wrong. So sorry about that, everybody. Oh. But we're all good. We're all good. And a really cool part about today is the power. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, everyone, for your patience with that. That out, and then we are going to actually jump right here into the interview since it's 12:30. Okay. Okay, so let's see if this works. Okay. We're gonna wait for it to catch back up. Okay. So if you saw the 24-hour freebie, Naomi is hosting that, so you can make sure to grab that in their shop. And let me just get this adjusted. Okay, we're gonna take a second to just catch up because I know that it's having an issue there. Okay, so we're going to jump right into the interview. So put your hands together for our amazing guest, Crouton Crochets. Hello, hello.
Hi, so good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I'm not sure if you witnessed all those technical difficulties I was
Yes, noticing some there.
just having, but that's okay. The power of clicking one Control Z and your whole thing goes whack. So happy to have you here today. Thank you everyone for your patience. We're all back. Um, in the chat, everyone's giving you a big round of applause. People's hands are
Hi,
together.
everybody.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining today. If you could, would love for you to introduce yourself to our chatters. Some people know who you are, some people don't. Pretend that this is, yeah, I mean, this is your pedestal. We want to hear all about you. So let's hear it.
Oh, thank you. Hi, so I'm Naomi. I'm the owner of Crouton's Crochet, which is named after my pug Crouton, who's downstairs right now. So I don't have her up here, but so basically I love making food animals. So I don't know, try to find ways to combine food and animals. Vincent already mentioned my little sushi frog will be a freebie. So if anyone wants to check that out, and yeah.
Yeah, the sushi frog is so cute. And I don't know if my mic was on during that part of the scene, but as she just said, you can find that pattern for free for 24 hours in their shop. So after the interview, make sure everyone check that out and all your amazing other patterns. Like you have so many. I used wacky earlier as a completely endearing term. What adjective would you use to describe like your work?
Hmm. I don't know. Yeah, wacky, weird. I don't know. I guess yeah, food animals is a very specific niche thing. So I don't know. I don't know what the best word to describe it is, but I feel like wacky fits it kind of good.
Nice. Did you always like want to kind of think outside of the box when making patterns, or did you start off with like normal animals at the beginning?
So like when I started learning to crochet, I started with normal things, but like the first thing I ever created myself that like wasn't based off a pattern was a meatball jellyfish, and I didn't know at the time that that would turn into like an obsession with making food animals, but it just kind of went from there. I had so much fun making that, and I got some good reception from it. And that like I had no plan on like releasing patterns at that point. But
Oh,
I just when people started loving it, I was like, okay, well that's fun. Let me try to come up with other ones, and then like as I started coming up with a few, just my list of ones I want to make got longer and longer, and then it kind of just took over.
yeah. So that's actually a great way to kind of ask, or a great segue into like, when did you start crocheting? Like, how long have you been, like, from the moment that you touched a hook to now? Like, when did you start?
Yeah, so I started to crochet in at the very end of April, I think, of 2021. So it's been a couple. Oh gosh, how many years is that now? 3 years, I think.
Yeah,
Um, if
you
my
just
math
hit
is
your
right.
anniversary. Yeah, you just hit your anniversary then.
Yeah, I just had it. Yeah, so yeah, I think it was like yeah, very end of April that I made my first thing. So I just like it just became my 3 year anniversary of learning, which is so fun. And I kind of just got super hooked right away from it. So once I made like one my first thing ever, I was like, I just want to keep making more stuff. So I definitely put like a lot of time and practice into it in a short period of time to try to improve.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you have like a guess on how many? I'm not sure where you're at now, but when you first started crocheting, like when you were practicing, how many hours a day you were putting into it?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. I got really lucky when I started because I was it was over COVID, so everything all my
Oh,
schooling was
right.
online because I was still in school at the time. But I happened to be like basically at the very end of my program just having to do like an online placement. So I had a bunch of free time, so I have no idea, but it worked out well because I had a lot of time I was able to spend during the day on it. So it definitely helped improve my skills quicker.
Yeah, yeah, the pandemic really altered things, but for crafters, it was give us a lot of time to hone our skills. I think a lot of us got better in a much quicker time than the world was before 2020.
Definitely.
And so, like now, how much of a, I mean, it seems to be an income for you, of course, but how much of a role does it play in your like everyday life, your professional life, your personal life, your day to days?
Yeah, so I now do this full time, which is great.
Oh, nice.
So basically all day, every day. I try to try to take breaks at things, obviously, but it is definitely like sort of my job now. So I do basically I'm dealing with something related to my business basically every day.
Nice. And I assume that I mean, you seem, if anyone else is following Naomi on their socials, like you do more than just make patterns and sell them. Like, you've been really an active part of the community and making sure that you're helping with small businesses and everything. So, like,
Mhm.
how are you able to? Is it easy to be able to switch your brain from pattern designer to like? I'm not even sure what you would call like your other title.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I feel like I am not good at just focusing on one thing. I have ADHD, so I feel like my brain kind of works better with that. That like I can jump to different things based on like what I'm just thinking in the moment. So sometimes I will be like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and work on a pattern, and then next thing I know, I'm on Instagram doing my small creator show because I forgot to do it, and I just kind of like jump back and forth and
Oh, that's
I'll go
amazing! You
kind of
found
all over
this.
with it.
That's amazing. You found a system for yourself. Did you? So you started crochet as a hobby. Did you think of it to become a career, or was that just like an organic process?
So it kind of worked out very well time wise for me because I was just doing it as a hobby when I finished and I graduated school. And I was hoping to do my master's, and then I didn't get into it that year. So I was like, okay, let me before I jump into getting a job in my field, let me just take a bit of time to just chill out because I just finished school and I can just do some crochet. But I'll look for a job soon. And I kept being like, okay, I'm just gonna do this for like one more month and then I'll look for a job. And then I was like, okay, one more month and then I swear I will. And then I got to a point where I was like, okay, now I do feel like I am able to like this. I'm growing my following and my business is improving, so maybe I could do this full time. So I kind of just took that as a sign to just keep going for it, and I'm very glad I did.
Yeah, we're that's super, fortunate and like luck has something to do with it, just timing wise, of course. I mean, there's
Mhm.
something out there in the universe, but it really comes down to you as an individual to like take hold of that. So that's really amazing. Good on you for being able to keep pushing with that. Like
Thank you.
you've hit such huge levels of success so quick. Um, so do you have a project that kind of like you feel like represents you as a brand, or like a project that like made that big pivot for you?
I would say the Tacosaurus. I think that's my most. Which I actually don't have the regular. I have my Taco Rex. I don't have my regular Tacosaurus in here, but I do have my
Oh,
manufactured one. But I would say definitely my Tacosaurus. I think that's when I really like hit my stride, and it was obviously very popular. And still is. I think my most popular pattern, and I think it really also just kind of fits with just the sort of style of what I like to do. And I also do love tacos, so it works.
nice. Yeah, it looks amazing. Like, is that the one? Is that the one that like took off for the first time, or is
Yeah,
that the
I would
one that
say
like?
that's definitely the biggest one. Like I had some of my other, like I had some of my other videos like that were doing well and stuff, but none that like I think really got to that level is when I started sharing the Tacosaurus.
That's amazing. Did you continue to do like the food animals because you saw the success, or does it just inspire you the most?
I think it's like a bit of a mix of both. Like I definitely didn't have that as like my idea when I did my like meatball jellyfish. I didn't know that I would just keep making them. But once I made that one, I kind of had the idea. I was like, oh, I had a couple ideas for other ones. And then that one, the first time I posted about it, it got like a decent amount of views on TikTok. So I was like, oh, good, people like this. So I should try making another one. And so it kind of just went from there. And then after I made a couple, I still didn't think like I'd be known for that because in my head I was like, well, that's so niche. Like, could I really get like enough interest in doing something that specific? But luckily, I just kind of that was what I was passionate about, so I just kept doing it until luckily it got to a point where I realized, oh, enough people do like this.
Oh, that's amazing. It's actually I totally resonate with you. That my first like patterns that were doing well were like jellyfish fusions with like Pokemon stuff. So if anyone's trying to make it as a crochet designer, jellyfish are
Jellyfish, yeah.
not a bad place to start for sure. Oh, well, that's amazing. Well, you obviously find inspiration from food and animals. Can you tell us where else like you draw inspiration from in your day to days?
I would say that's the main thing. I just like to I don't know. I feel like now I've just kind of like trained my brain. Like if I'm eating something or if I'm just like thinking about an animal, I'll be like, what shape does that look like? And like then try to like figure out how that can relate to an animal, or even just like name wise. Some of my creations I just came up with because I thought the name was cute, and then I kind of went backwards from there. So like my crab cake, I was like, what if I did a crab cake, but there was like a crab that was actually a cake, and so stuff like that. I just sort of worked backward. I would say that's where I get like the main inspiration from. Now, a lot of people tell me I should watch Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too, which I haven't seen. but apparently it's like all about like food animal combos. So at some point I need to watch that because people apparently said I would probably be very inspired if I saw that. So
Aw. Well,
some
I'm sure some people in the chat might agree. I haven't seen it myself either, but if you're already hearing that, then uh, I guess so. That's a great idea to kind of work backwards for sure. Yeah, that's actually a really creative idea. Were you always like creative growing up? Did you always express like a creative outlet, or is this like the first of it?
I honestly this was the first bit. Like I've never been good at any sort of art thing. So even if I was like, oh, I have cool ideas, like I couldn't draw, I couldn't like paint, any sort of like artistic thing I tried, I just was not good at. So this was the, like that's why I kind of crocheting was a really big surprise to me when I just sort of ended up loving it so much and feeling like I could do well with it. So it's honestly great because I've always felt like I wanted to be able to be creative with stuff, but like I just didn't have that outlet that made sense for me. So I feel like this kind of was like a great way to sort of start being able to express myself in those ways where I hadn't really figured out a way that worked for me before.
Yeah, definitely. So if that's the case, where you're like family and peers just like caught off guard, it's like thing from left field.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just. Can you tell
absolutely. Like
us?
most,
Oh, yeah, you go.
yeah, most of my friends were like telling, like when I told most of my friends, like, oh, I really want to learn to crochet, they're like, okay, like, cause it just seems so outside of what I did. Like, they were like, we support you, but I don't like, don't get like, they're like, maybe don't put like all your eggs in one basket on learning that, in the nicest way. But just cause they knew that like that was so outside of anything I've done. But luckily, I still was like, I'm gonna try it anyways, and I'm very glad I did.
Yeah, I'm really glad that the like way of like linear way of thinking of success is like kind of out of the window now, and like
Mhm.
there's just truly no harm for you to even like try it out and see what would happen. So, uh, good on you for. I'm glad that you have supportive people around you. I hope not too many naysayers in the beginning.
No, luckily, a lot of support.
Oh, good. Oh, that's amazing to hear. Um, wow, that good on. I feel like I'm actually resonating with a lot of your story. I feel similar on kind of how it went for
Mhm.
me as well. Um, so yeah, you're selling all over the place. Like you're on almost every social media, it seems, and you're in many different marketplaces. Would love to know kind of how you stumbled upon Ribblr and kind of how the community has felt for you with all your designs and stuff. I'm sure there's, uh, you know, your style is specific. How do you feel how that's played with like a Ribblr audience and everything?
Yeah, so I don't remember like the exact first time I heard about Ribblr, but I know I just like kept hearing the name around and was like, I don't really know what that is. And it was one of those things where it slowly, just as I started hearing people say the name, I just was like, okay, well, let me check out what it is. I think maybe it was mentioned, when I was looking to apply to some like pattern tests and things like that. And so I didn't really know much about it when I first like had heard about it, and then honestly, I think I started using it, and I quickly found that like I actually enjoyed like as much as I love putting like all the effort into like making my patterns look really nice for myself, like I actually found it easier for me to follow my own patterns by using Ribblr because I could like just track and
Right.
remember where it was, especially when if I'd stopped for a while, I'd come back and be like, where the heck was I? So I think that's kind of one of the reasons, and especially like I said, like I have ADHD, so I get distracted a lot, so I'm always walking away from my project and then coming back. So it's just, I don't know, that was probably one of the biggest reasons that I really liked it. And I've always liked how much I think you guys do to support smaller creators and also to get the word out about patterns. Like I just love that it's a whole platform where you can just find all these different creations, stuff you didn't even know you wanted to make. So
Right.
I that's what I think I really like about it. And I think it's like I really appreciate the Ribblr community, and I think it's really cool. That there's all you can have the chats and the forums. I don't know what exactly you'd call it, but all those things I think help make it feel even more like a community, which I think is really great.
Oh, that's yeah. I as someone like not biased. I mean, I am biased, of course, because I'm here. I am, but as like a normal day to day crafter, I totally agree with like being able to keep your progress and everything. I didn't realize how much of a mental toll that took before interactive patterns,
Mm-hmm.
like whole like that. Yeah,
Definitely.
I can't go back for sure. Well, thank you for saying all those kind of things. Um, this is like off script here because I didn't send you this question, but you've talked about ADHD a bit today. Do you have any like advice for other crafters or anything who also deal with ADHD? I mean, when you're on Ribblr, there are so many patterns that you could
Yeah.
follow and all these things. Like, how have you as a crafter used your ADHD as kind of like a superpower more than anything? It seems like that's what you've done.
I think like just allow. I think a lot of people with ADHD also have a lot of creativity and a lot of different ideas, and I would say like I think that's a great way to like harness it. So, like I will be in the middle of maybe writing a pattern and then I have an idea for another pattern. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, even if I, can't stop and do that right now, like let me write it down. So I just try to do whatever I can to make sure I remember all my different ideas I have. And just like, honestly, I try to make sure I have like two, my most used hooks. I'm like, I make sure I have at least two of them because I know at some point I'm going to lose one of them and then I'm not going to find it for like a month. So I just think little things like that can help make it a bit more of a easier experience. But honestly, I think just to let your creativity and your random thoughts fly. And a lot of times they'll be great ideas, so just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever come up with any of your ideas like in your like when you're sleeping in your dreams?
I haven't, but I've had times when like I'm about to fall asleep, like I'm half asleep, and I'm like, oh my god, that's a great idea. And I usually I'm like, okay, you'll remember it in the morning. And sometimes I will wake up, I don't remember what it is, and it still drives me
Oh,
crazy. I don't know if I've ever remembered what they are. I'm hoping maybe they'll come back to me at some point, but it would be cool to like actually fully come up with one in a dream, though.
oh man, I mean I think a lot of people can resonate with that painful feeling of those like those $1 million ideas that got away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's actually great advice, honestly, for people who have attention problems is having multiples of the same tools just like at the ready. I mean, with ADHD, it can be easy to like while you're even like doing a simple task of like looking for your tool, you can forget on what you were doing.
Yeah.
So that's really amazing. So thank you for telling us all that. We're really glad that you're enjoying Ribblr as a platform, the community, and all the things it brings. I almost forget that there really aren't like a hub for like crochet and knitting, like kind of the way Ribblr is doing it. So
Hmm.
I'm glad that you say that again. So you've been crocheting your hands off, of course, but you are doing other things outside of crochet. Uh, one of the you just showed one of your manufactured stuffed animals. Do you want to talk about kind of what those are about?
Yeah, so I started making, I had so many people wanting to buy one of my Taco Source plushies. And unfortunately, I have quite a lot of hand pain. So, like, I just
Mm,
can't keep up with doing a ton of orders. And I realized at some point after I was getting extra bad pain that, like, if I want to do this full time, I can't just sell physical items or
yeah.
that can't be my focus. So that's when I started sort of really transitioned to primarily doing patterns. And then I also feel bad because I'm like, I want everyone to have my creations, and it sucks that I can't make one for everyone. So that's sort of why I came up with the idea for the Tacosaurus, just because it was my most popular pattern. And I didn't really know how people would what they would think of it. Like I didn't know if crocheters would be mad that I'm like doing something non-crochet. But luckily, I think people have been supportive, especially behind the idea of it just being. I just want everyone to be able to have a Tacosaurus, and I just can't physically do that. So I do think it's gone pretty well, and like that's sort of why I like to expand to other things. Like I have my blanket hoodie on and stickers and stuff. It's mainly just because with my hand pain, I can't just focus on only doing physical items, but also I've just learned to like enjoy it so much. So like I love coming up with like other ways that I can like expand and different projects I can do in those experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you're acknowledging your hand pain. Some people just drive their hands into the ground, and
Mm-hmm.
you know we do use our hands for more than just our craft. So
Yeah.
I hold my yarn in a pretty painful way. I would say like I'm just like pinching my yarn for hours. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely wouldn't recommend it. But that's really cool that you're doing that for yourself. And it gives you an opportunity to make other designs, not focus on just like the one over and over.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah.
and you've kind of like, I'm not sure, I mean, in my head you have, but you've kind of popularized your fit. The, what do you call it? The
The blanket hoodies.
blanket hoodies. Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, you, I think in my head, so forever I always like saw you do it first, but that's also your own original creation.
Yeah,
Like,
thank you. Yeah, I think I love seeing ever since I started, I started wearing them in all my videos because it's comfy and then I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing.
yeah.
And just people loved it and they started associating it with me and it just kind of went from there. And once I realized how many people just associated it with me, I was like, well, I better, like, I want to make my own. And
Yeah.
so I just sort of did that. And I love, like, sometimes people, other crocheters will be like, oh, you inspired me to start, wearing some of my videos. I'm like, yeah, I love it. It
Oh,
just, I think it's all about just, being comfy. And I feel like what goes better with crochet than just getting to be cozy all the time. So
yeah, absolutely. I've actually never worn one of those before, the blanket hoodies.
they're very comfy.
Yeah, they look heavy, like a weighted blanket almost.
Yeah, like this one, I tried to get mine not too thick because some of them can be like really heavy. But I feel like the weight's good. It's kind of like comforting. It's not like crazy heavy, but
Wow. That yeah, you are so that like diversified with what you're doing. And I guess unless there's other things that you're doing, so you're also doing like coach. Like, is coaching the correct word to use in terms
I
of?
just call it like audits, I guess. Like I just sort of I might expand to doing it like more of a coaching style, but yeah, I basically just like offer like I'll go through crocheters social media and just give them tips to like improve their reach and engagement and things like that, which has been really fun. I honestly I didn't ever think that that'd be something that my business would do, but enough people asked me about it, and I've just enjoyed it so much. I didn't realize how much I loved just like because I do love talking about like the social media aspect of it and things. So I think, and also knowing that I can like do something that's helping other creators is super fun. So I think that's been one of the most rewarding
Aw.
experiences.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you love it's like the perfect lightning in a bottle for you. You love the craft, you love the medium, i.e. social media to like promote and stuff. What are your main social media platforms that you use to show off all your patterns?
So I'd say yeah, Instagram is my biggest one. And so like that's the one I think I engage with the most and like make the most connections with. And then I also am on TikTok and YouTube. On YouTube, I'm editing one of, I've only made like 2 videos before, but I'm editing another one now. So my
Nice.
goal is to hopefully soon start actually posting more regularly, longer form videos. So people can keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, also just, yeah, I'd say Instagram is like the biggest one.
Yeah, Instagram is definitely like a go-to for the crafts. Definitely feels more positive. And just with the, everything going on with like the TikTok,
Oh, yeah.
we never know what's going to happen with that platform. It's always
Yeah,
under some
definitely.
type of fire. So it's good to diversify your social platforms for sure. So awesome to hear that you're doing YouTube now. Very cool platform. And I'm sure there's a lot you can talk about. Like, you have so much to offer your community.
Thank you. I'm excited to expand to it more.
Yeah, that's really cool. We actually have someone in the chat asking, since you're talking about like all these other things, going back and forth, how many work in progresses do you have at any given moment usually?
Okay, I have probably 2 or 3 bins of things I don't think I'm ever gonna finish.
Oh,
There's some of them I probably couldn't even tell you what they were because they were like from so long ago.
mm,
If I need the yarn, I will frog something, but usually I just keep it in there, and then whenever I need the yarn, I'll frog it. And I think that's just like ADHD thing. I'm better with it now, but like I just don't like to talk or look at all those old projects. So at some point I should deal with them. But now I'm pretty good at like only doing 1 or 2 things at a time. I try to be like whatever pattern I'm going to be working on at the time, and then if I have an order, like when I do accept the occasional order or things like that, then I'll maybe let myself have like one other one. But I try to like be very specific and focus only on what I'm doing now, or else like my giant bin, it will just be a nightmare.
oh man. The is there like a certain amount of time that has to pass until you're just like, I can't go back into that project? Or
Yeah, I don't. It's not even that long for me. I'd say if I don't deal with it in like a couple weeks, it's gone. It's basically dead to me now.
so
So
restarting is pretty much like the only option at that point.
yeah, usually I just at that point I'm like, ugh, it's too much. And I just will start over or decide just I'm not gonna do it and just frog it and use the yarn.
That makes sense. And I'm glad that you're frogging it. Some people, I know it's blasphemy, but we'll just take that and just throw it away and just like start on like a new
Yeah.
skein or something. Which
Mhm.
to each their own, I suppose. But good on you for making the most of what you bought.
I
um,
try, yeah. I mean, some of them, like, certain types of yarn, it's when you start frogging it, it just becomes a mess. But most of the yarn I use is not too bad. So
that's good to hear. Do you have like a favorite like type or brand that you're like is like your go-to?
yeah, I basically now exclusively use Bernat blanket. It's just, I don't know,
Oh,
I just love it, and for me, it just seems to be the easiest to get that, and like in terms of like colors and availability. So whether I'm ordering online or going in stores, I kind of have options for both. So that's sort of basically all I use. I feel like most crocheters have so many opinions on different brands, and have all these different ones that they have. Like I just have like almost exclusively just Bernat blanket, so I don't have a ton of experience even with other ones. But once I found it, I liked it, so I was like, okay, this is the one I'm sticking to.
nice. I mean, if you found it early, that's honestly some people. I myself spent years trying to like figure out like my style or whatever. So it's really cool
Mhm.
to hear that you've like kind of found it out the get go. So that's amazing. Um, This one wasn't part of the questions I sent over, but would love to ask, do you have are you particular on how you crochet? Like do you have to have like are you like ritualistic where you have to be all comfy cozy on the couch in the bed or can you crochet like on the go like in the car or is it pretty loose?
I'm pretty good at like just like I mainly crochet like on the couch or in my bed. I'm not good if there's like too many distractions around because then I know like I'm gonna have to recount the same row like 20 times unless it's something super basic. So I usually keep it pretty simple. I always usually will have TV on, but I'm so bad at like paying attention to TV if I'm counting or anything, so I never hear what's going on the TV usually. But I like to have it on for background noise and me thinking I'll watch it. But yeah, I don't really I'm not good at doing like in the car or anything, but so usually I'm pretty good at doing just my bed or on the couch, but other than that, I'm pretty, flexible with it.
If you only have like 10 minutes to crochet, are you someone who's going to use that 10 minutes to crochet or is that just like not enough time for you to like get wrapped up into it?
Ooh. That's a good question. I would say it depends what I'm doing. If I'm making an order, probably. If I'm like trying to work on a pattern, probably not. Because I don't like to like when I start working on patterns, I feel like I just get so
Hmm.
into it that like I want to work on it for like however long at once. So usually I'd like to have bigger stretches of time if I'm working on a pattern. But if I'm just like crocheting something more casually, then yeah, sometimes I'll be like, okay, I have enough time to do like one more row before I have to leave. I'll do
Right.
that sometimes. Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that. I forget that there is like a difference between a crafter brain and like a designer brain. Like
Mhm.
you go into your work in such a different manner. So that's a good answer.
Thank you. Yeah.
But and you said that you watch TV while you crochets. So that's just background noise. Do you have any like any genres of music or shows that you're like watching like repeats or new things or anything?
Yeah. I mean, anything I put on, if I'm crocheting, I know I'm not going to pay much attention to it. So I try to keep it with things I've either seen before or things I'm not super invested in. Occasionally it'll be like, a true crime or something, but a lot of times I'll just put on like, just something funny that'll make me laugh, like some of my favorite TV shows or, YouTube. A lot of times I'll do, 90 Day Fiance. Yeah. I
Not the
watched 90 Day
90 day.
Fiance. I showed it to my mom, and so now my mom always wants to watch it. So every time my mom and I have a chance, we'll try to watch an episode. So because I've gotten her hooked on it. So that's another one I like to do while I'm crocheting.
Dang, the croutons crochet lore has been exposed.
Yeah.
My family loves it too. It hasn't clicked for me quite yet. I my like I'm not sure if it's considered trash TV, but mine is like definitely Love Island. So
Oh yeah,
um,
that's
I'll
a good
have
one too.
I'll have to watch 90 Day Fiance. We have people in the chat. Sierra Mural loves it too. They say, which also they have said that they're wearing their blanket. No, Crochet Girl is wearing their blanket hoodie right now. So
Oh
we
yeah.
have fans in the chat of you. Everyone was super excited about you coming on today.
Oh, I know. I
And
saw that. That was so cute. I love seeing everyone in the chat.
yeah, it's cool. And then we are going to have to put the blame on you for what happened with
Oh yeah. Sorry guys.
everyone saying that you broke it.
Definitely on
But
me.
that's too funny. So for everyone in chat, since everyone already is such a fan, Do you have any advice for folks who are wanting to learn the craft, or maybe this is their first time even like seeing anything crochet? How would you say to like get into the craft? Like, what was your journey like? Like, are you
Yeah, so
self-taught, YouTube?
I learned through YouTube, and I found that the most helpful. But the thing was like I sort of, when I started was looking for YouTube videos, I didn't really like, I didn't know what to expect, obviously. So some, like, I'd put on a video and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this makes no sense, and I didn't really realize like, oh, like other videos might be doing it a different way. So like
Right.
I probably watched so many different videos on like how to do a slip knot, and I can't even tell you how many I watched. Until I finally found one
It's
that clicked,
hard.
right? And why that one clicked, I don't know. But it's just one of those things where I just have to keep watching. And every method, I'd be like, my hands don't do that. I don't understand how you're doing that. Until one just works. So I'd say if you like, just don't give up. Just try different videos. And hopefully, eventually, one will stick for you. And don't get discouraged if the first ones make no sense.
That is actually a really great answer. People, content creators, all showcase different techniques, and just the way they like edit or showcase their videos can make a huge difference in
Mm-hmm.
what clicks with you. So that's a really great answer. Thank you for sharing that with everybody. I and this is a really great time to learn crochet. When I first started 8 years ago, crochet content creation wasn't exactly like a thriving industry.
Oh yeah.
So I had like a choice of like two videos that were like kind of grainy back in the day.
Oh gosh.
Um, so that's really cool that we are able to have so many different options. So agreed, definitely try your best. Everyone can do it. As long as you have two hands. Actually, you don't even need two hands. There's someone on TikTok who crochets with just
Yeah,
one hand.
I've seen some people that do it with one hand, which is so impressive.
Yeah, and I have no doubt people do like pretty amazing things with just their feet. So if you
Yeah, I'm
have
sure someone could do it. Yeah.
if you have one, if you're able-bodied in that way, anyone can do it. It's just a matter of finding the right instructor for sure. And
Mhm.
since you have such a business mind, what about, do you have any advice for those who would, they're a hobbyist right now, they love crochet or knitting, but they want to take it to like the next level and they want to start earning income? Do you have any like first person or like first timer advice on kind of where to start with that?
Yeah, I would say the best thing to start with is just like start posting. Make an account for just your crochet or your knit, whatever, and just start posting about it. That's the best way to just start getting out there. It'll feel weird at first. At least it did for me. Like, I had no idea what to post, what made a good post, anything like that. But those things can come with time. But just getting comfortable and just putting it out there is the best way to start, I'd say. And don't feel like you have to have everything figured out. I think I like, once I finally started posting on social media, then I was like, okay, I want to maybe start an Etsy and sell finished items. But I think I put it off for another like 2 or 3 months because I just was like, well, I don't know about this or this, and I just was like weighing my head about it and like, I'm not sure if it's good enough. All those questions. And I think at some point I just had to say, just stop putting off, just do it, right? So I think at some point, if you're just super nervous about it, you just got to say, it doesn't matter if I don't have every detail figured out, as long as the basics of it. Sometimes you just have to try to just leap into it and you'll figure it out as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really great advice. I know sometimes I feel like people, they're kind of told in like the old sense that you have to have like the whole business plan and everything at the ready. And honestly, that can sometimes take away from like the joys of the craft. I mean, it's already a pretty, it's a pretty odd thing to pursue. And someone who's done it myself, I mean, it is. It's crochet, and people don't always take it seriously. So, at the beginning, maybe you shouldn't take it seriously as well. Just post for fun,
Yeah.
see what goes. You can keep a business mindset for sure, but that's great advice to just do it.
And
Sometimes
don't
waiting.
listen to non-crocheters on how to price your items, because I feel like if you don't like, so many people will come to me for advice being like, I don't know how to price items because I try to price it what I think is fair, but then my mom will tell me that's way too expensive and no one will pay for that and things like that. But I think enough people do love and respect the what all that goes into handmade items, so don't let people who don't really understand that get in the way of you pricing things fairly.
Also, great advice. Yes, it's everyone who like isn't really part of the crochet scene that like has the most opinions on it.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, definitely don't worry. That's really great advice too. Definitely don't worry about that as much. And those things can always be adjusted and changed. And it's the the small business is definitely an ever growing and ever changing thing. So really great advice on that end as well. Um, and so for you, do you have any like big projects or anything that you're currently working on that you would like to share about, or would you like to give people a
Um,
teaser?
yeah, well, so right now I'm doing a month of Amiguru-MAY giveaways on my Instagram. So I'm partnering with
Oh,
different
right.
small creators. So that's really fun. There's some big creators involved and some small ones, so you can, hopefully see some new faces and also see ones you recognize. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely check out those. And what else am I working on? Actually, this is the first time I think in like over a year I don't have a crochet pattern I'm currently writing. I kind of decided because of all everything going on this month, I'm taking a little bit of a break for the first time, but I will be back next month with more patterns. So I have some really fun ideas for some that I think people will like. So definitely keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, that's so fun. I'm glad that you're able to take a little bit of a pause if you need to, and you're offering something to the community, all together. So if anyone wants those free patterns, definitely make sure you're checking out Croutons Crochet on Instagram. Is that only going on Instagram, or is it on your other
Yeah, that
socials?
one's just on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And we love all the patterns that you've been posting on Ribblr as well. Like it's all been so fun. I definitely want to reiterate. Speaking of giveaways, Naomi is offering the sushi frog as a free pattern right now
Oh
for
yeah.
24 hours. I think it fell behind your couch, is what I
Yeah.
saw from earlier.
I think he fell behind the couch, but
But I'll show an image later into the show today. But yeah, is there anything else that you would like your audience to know? Any shout outs for other Ribblers or other crafters in the scene that you would like to give some honorable mentions
oh
to?
yeah. Okay. I'd love to give a shout out to well, Sierra in the chat. Yes, I've also promised I will be posting a photo of my dog Crouton on my stories because she loves Crouton. But Sierra is great. Sierra Stitches on Instagram. Garden Hoe Crochet. She's known for her fruit snails and her snail council. And I think if people maybe give her some convincing, she might come put her patterns on Ribblr. So everybody should go tell Garden Hoe Crochet to get on Ribblr. Um, and Sage and Spirit Art, that's Gabby. She's great too. She's in the chat as well. Definitely check all those people out. They're some of my best friends and all super talented crocheters.
Aw, well, it's so awesome that some of the goats have made it into the chat. I've like seen with my peripheral who are like commenting and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's so cute and funny. Yeah, and it's fun to have you on here. And you also do, for our audience who doesn't know, you also do your own live streams and stuff for the community as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done
So
one lately, but I've been thinking it's about time I get on another one.
yeah, it's always fun. You do them in like kind of like the big groups usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Which is
cool.
fun, yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people here today are like, this is not going to be the last time they see you. We see you kind of all over the place, which is really fun. But yeah, I think this is we're kind of coming to a wrapping up here. Do you have, before we end, we can talk about kind of like your own personal life. Do you have any movies, songs, or any other media that you would want to suggest to the audience that you're enjoying right now?
Gosh, that's a great question. I don't off the top of my head. I don't know if I have any off the top of my head, but I know I'm going to regret that because I feel like I'm going to have so many things I want to suggest, but I don't know if I can think of any off the top.
What kind of genres of music are you typically listening to?
Usually, like, if you had to describe it, I'd say, like, according to Spotify, a lot of Midwest emo.
Oh, like
so a lot of, like, kind of whiny stuff.
let's go.
Like, some of my favorite bands, I'd say, like, Mom Jeans. They're probably my favorite right now. I like a little bit of everything. Like, I like some more, heavier stuff. I also like, sometimes, guilty pleasure pop songs too. I even like, some bluegrass. I love banjos. So I feel like I have a mix of everything I like, but I'd say most of my music is like Midwest emo or like early 2000s music.
Oh, that's so cute. Is like modern baseball considered?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess you heard it here, heard it here first, folks. Is Midwest emo. Gotta make sure you're wearing your flannels.
yeah,
Being those it's usually like kind of sad music, honestly.
yeah.
I mean, it's emotional. Um,
Hmm.
and then I guess some other rapid fire questions. If you had to choose, are you a nighttime crocheter or a daytime crocheter? Or I guess even early
I'm
morning?
Yeah, I'm like a daytime crocheter. I wouldn't do it first thing in the morning, but I like to get it done early in the day because I feel like, especially now that it's more of like a business thing, I try to make sure at nighttime I'm not. But like because I love it so much, still sometimes I end up just at nighttime getting too excited and working on stuff. But I try to give myself some balance by not doing it at night. But I do enjoy it still, so here and there I'll still do it.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. And do you have a go-to hook brand that you use?
I actually don't really care about brands. I have like I got a set. I like ergonomic hooks. Like I'm holding one right now, but this one isn't. Like I think this is like a knockoff brand, to be honest, from Amazon. But I don't even know what brand these are. But yeah, just honestly, I'm not very picky with hooks.
That's funny that you actually. So that one that you're using now is. Do you know like so you don't care if it's like a tapered hook or like an inline hook?
Oh, I do. Well, I do prefer. Oh gosh, which I like this kind better than the other kind, whichever one this one is.
I believe that rounded, shallower one is a
Yeah,
tapered hook.
yeah. I don't like the one that's like very harsh cut as much because I
Oh,
find like my yarn snags on it a bit.
my heart. That's like the only one I can use.
Yeah,
I can't use the tapered.
yeah, that's funny.
But that's really cool. And of course, you can all for everyone wondering about products, you can always get materials off of Ribblr as well through the Joanne catalog. I think you've also used the service before ordering on Ribblr for
I
something.
haven't yet, but I should because I know you guys do have Bernat blanket on there, so that's all I need to want to
Oh,
order.
nice.
So
We'll keep that in
it's about
mind for the
time I should.
future.
Yeah,
So
I'd love to try it out.
I'll have to hit you up with that. Okay, well, I think this is actually a great stopping place for this fun interview. It was really nice to like get to know you and talk. This is actually not our first time we've done uh, speaking together. Naomi was actually a winner for one of our annual awards as well, which is really cool.
Hmm.
So congratulations on that. You're really making a name for yourself. I think you won some other things too, right? Like at the end of the year.
Yeah, so I won the Ribblr the shop of the year, so that was awesome.
Hype.
Yeah, I was so excited about that. Yeah. Actually, I should have worn my shirt. I don't know. I didn't think of that. But
That
yeah.
that's okay. But you were nominated for like I believe like in the holiday season you were nominated for like a number of things.
Oh yeah, for like the yarnies and stuff. I didn't win any of those ones. But it was still an honor to be nominated.
Yeah, yeah. That must just be huge for you. I would. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like such a even being nominated for Ribblr Shop of the Year and then winning it. It was like such a surreal experience. Honestly, I felt like last year was like at the beginning of the year. I still was very not confident if I could make this a full-time thing yet. And so throughout the year, going from being really anxious and unsure to like at
Oh.
the end of the year having the sort of reception I had gotten and people appreciating my stuff and getting voted or even nominated for things was such an honor. So I'm so grateful that I can do what I'm passionate about and especially be as weird with it as I want to be and people still love it. So it's been
Yeah.
an amazing experience.
Yeah, the dialogue used to be that you need to make things that everyone is going to love. That was kind of how it
Yeah.
was when I first started crocheting, and I love that it's changed into like niching down and like having your own particular style is now like the way to go. So nothing is ever too weird.
Yeah.
The fact that people are pursuing crochet in any fashion is already considered oddball or like left field for most folks. So it's really cool to see people's creativity and weirdness and the inner workings of their mind come out. So yeah,
Hmm.
well, congratulations on all your success. I'm excited to see how your products do, how your coaching does, your patterns on Ribblr. Uh, I'll probably have to purchase myself one of the blanket hoodies just to like.
Definitely should.
I feel like I'll be like, I can't. I got to be part of the hip crowd, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I just had to ship off my next batch when they arrived. So I just like right before this, I just had to get like 30 of them picked up to be
Oh
shipped
wow.
off. So
Yeah, so for everyone in chat, if you these are all orderable things. So if you want to support Naomi from Crouton's Crochets in any fashion, obviously she's given you plenty of options. So honestly, no reason not to. So yeah, absolutely incredible. We'll make sure to continue supporting on socials, on Ribblr, doing whatever we can, and hopefully next time that we have a video interview, I will be wearing my blanket hoodie as well.
let's hope so.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining
so
today.
much.
And thank you for all the kind words in chat, everybody. So we'll see you soon. Thank you so much, and I will be in contact.
Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you, and thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, take care. Oh, that was so fun. Let me get rid of that. Thank you everyone for being here for that. Really interesting to hear Naomi's perspective on everything, and I just can't believe what people are able to achieve. And I know 3 years is a long time, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's, you know, it's not too long. I mean, it's all post-pandemic, so as we all know, post-pandemic time goes by. I don't know about y'all, but I think post-pandemic time is just weird and altered, and I don't understand it. But that was super fun. Thank you everyone in the chat for being so kind and warm, and honestly so respectful. It seems like y'all know when to comment when it's appropriate. You're not like overwhelming the chat or anything. So thank you everyone so much for like the kind words on Naomi. She's a pleasure to talk to. It was amazing seeing her win the awards last at the end of the year as well. I do apologize for some of those technical issues. As we know, last time there was some issues, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I have everything planned. I spent a few hours on this. Like, we're not messing this up. And of course, I click like a Control-Alt-Z, and all my work just went out the window. So, rip to that. But at least the link still worked. I see Arts and App say, a Ribblr blanket hoodie would make a good prize. You know, over here at Ribblr, we're very flexible with things. We're always trying to stay in touch with the community and offer fun things. So that is a great idea, honestly. And I appreciate everyone being here. I see that some people, Zofia, this was actually my first live ever. Congratulations on making it here. If you missed some of it, this YouTube video will be on the channel on Ribblr, so you'll be able to come by and check it out as well. Won't miss it. And make sure I've like lost the image, unfortunately. Actually, I think I can add it now. So if you, oh, here we go. So right here, this little sushi frog, Naomi has been generous enough to offer this amigurumi pattern for Amiguru-MAY as a freebie for 24 hours. So all you have to do is go to her Ribblr shop and you'll find the pattern. It says free, and you just download it to your library, and that is for a limited amount of time. 24 hours only. Super cute. Make sure you're grabbing yours, showing your support. So yeah, this is a really fun freebie. So make sure you are grabbing that. I'll hide that. Let me make sure I'm checking chat. Artsnap says, great interview and loved hearing your answers. So much love. And for all of Naomi's friends who came on by today, thank you so much for showing that love and support. Honestly goes a long way for anybody when they're like being interviewed or being on a live stream. So I know live streams can be sometimes a little intimidating. Took me a while to get used to them myself. I don't even know if I am still used to it. So yeah, it was. Oh, that's my bad. It's only 12 hours. I don't know why I'm saying 24. I'm stuck in a 24-hour headspace here, but it's only free for 12 hours. So by tomorrow, it will be gone. So make sure you are grabbing the sushi frog for the next 12 hours. I guess an hour and a half has already gone by, so roughly only 10 more hours left to grab your free pattern from Crouton's Crochets. Thank you so much, Ribblr, for reminding me. Make sure to grab that. Yeah, and that is that for the show. It's been a great time. Just as a recap today, it's been nice talking to everyone here, returning viewers, new viewers. Thank you so much for entering the chat. Thanks for all the kind words on our guest today. I'm sure she appreciates it. And she'll be able to see the chat as well. First time here, being asked from D. Mary, first time here, what is the name of her shop? It is called Crouton's Crochet. You can check out the link that's been posted in the chat there. Thank you, everyone. And make sure you are heading over to the community section as well to make sure that you are voting for this month's Pattern of the Month, Shop of the Month, and Make of the Month. A lot of amazing artists. It is a bit of a difficult decision. A lot of amazing talent is featured today. So make sure you're checking that out. And also showing some kindness to our Ribblr of the Week, Sif's Studios. Make sure you're checking them out as well. Amazing stuff coming out of Denmark. And yeah, so, okay. I have been talking a lot. I'm sure a lot of you have had enough of my voice. So I'll let you all get on with your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. A lot of great amigurumi patterns for the weekend to start on. You can make sure to check out our wish list as well. Some really fun stuff there. A lot of shop sales, and a bunch of new artists are actually coming to the platform on Monday. So make sure that you are checking that out. Once again, I am Vincent, your host from Ribblr. Thank you so much for tuning in today. No matter what time you came in, and we appreciate you being on the platform and enjoying all the things that we have to offer to the community. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time for our next show on May 17th. At the same time, we have another fun amigurumi artist jumping in. It'll be a great interview. If you have any questions that you want us to ask, if you have anyone that you want us to promote for Ribblr of the Week or have on the show, please feel free to message us. You can leave it in the chat as well. And yeah, so, okay. Thank you, everyone, for being such a great audience, and we will catch you next time. Have a great weekend. Bye.